creation of otherworldly beings, and he's got a fucking knife.
Well, I mean, if you're worried about him not having any special magic
No.
or otherwise, just generally, thing, you really don't need to worry about that. It's coming soon. As I said, this current set of mysteries is a bit more Allison flavored.
That will leave Kelly as the only one without anything on hand.
No, you could talk. You could just Snow White the hell of it. Just talk to alien creatures. It'll be fine. You got the magic lightning, I guess. It'll go great. It'll be fine. 100%.
Sure.
Do you lack my belief? Can you not tell it in my very tired and nonchalant voice that I think that you have the capability of greatness?
So far, by my calculations, Kelly has 22 skill points. Allison has 20. Trevor has 21. And now I'm tallying up Riley's.
Fancy. Oh shit, I should probably put a skin on this. The fuck am I doing?
Well, Kuma, it would seem that you are the one in last place with 18, 2
Hella.
points behind. So no, I wouldn't worry about Allison having missed out on points.
Hella.
Admittedly, you did join a little late, so that's probably why.
It is
Yeah.
what it is. I've made up for it with sarcasm and sarcastic one-liners and
Okay.
memes.
I'm up in Adam with the stream.
Fancy.
Alright.
This isn't where my tech. This isn't where my skins are.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
But truthfully, Kel's the only one without any defense. Really.
I mean,
She gave the gloves of doom to Trevor.
I consider wits and panicking a very good self-defense mechanism.
Let's see, you have arm size. Trevor has deadly punching gloves, and Allison has a knife.
Yes. I mean, if you want, you can have Mr. Henderson's butter knife that he gave me. It's a very good stabbing tool.
No.
Just ask Mr. Henderson for a taser and pepper spray or something.
Oh my god.
The self-defense kit of the modern age woman. There you go.
I'm gonna be laughing if he actually. It's Mr. Henderson. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be. Yeah, I wouldn't be either. Honestly, he'd probably give you a full-on like 22 if you really wanted to make sure you were being safe.
A really old rusty cowboy revolver. He won in the bet.
I got this here. 38.
What was the bet? That's the concerning part.
If I can grab the 38 first and shoot you.
You'd have to ask him, anyways.
I mean, he's got like a lot of medieval stuff too. I wouldn't be surprised if he got you like a fucking saber, broadsword.
Cutlass.
I prefer something small, please.
The dagger that killed King Arthur?
Hmm.
Okay, can we continue? Let's start this game.
We can get back to the thing.
I like the conversation when we're talking about arming Kelly with medieval weapons.
Oh my god.
Alright. So yes, who would like to do the last time on the Tales of Aramoy and
Got it.
whatnot?
I believe we had to deal with zombified animals, basically. We were at, like, James, from what I recall, I think we were dealing with a, parasite-filled deer, wolf, and badger. We managed to deal with most of them, though there is still a badger somewhere in the woods. Which is highly concerning. And also a few deer parts because someone else also decided to kick some things.
I got very angry. You can't judge me about that.
And then James actually found out what Kuma
We're not
situation.
going to discuss what the Russian found out. All we're going to say is now it's a secret still, and he's part of the secret society.
Along with Mr. Henderson.
Well, Mr. Henderson, no, because he didn't decide to fucking help us when my mom decided to attack us. So he found out on his own terms, and honestly, it is.
He
what
was
it
just
is.
hearing all the noises outside and just came out and just see the madness that happened.
Man, be lying for us too.
Yeah, he's I mean, he's willing to cover for us in the sense of things.
This is true. And
So.
for the record, I distinctly remember some orange-haired idiot kicking a badger somewhere towards James's house, which I did not condone at all.
And you proceed to kick a deer head and leg that
At
had
least
the
I kicked
parasite.
it into the woods and not towards anywhere in the community.
You kind of did in an angled sort of mannerism with the leg.
Okay, listen here. Who's gonna get assaulted by a leg?
Good question.
You're not supposed to say. Wait a minute. You never agree with me. What is this?
Cool. The worst thing is the animals that might be munching on those parts.
Yeah, well, you know what? I munch on animals, so honestly, whatever happens.
Yes,
happens.
but these limbs had animal like parasites that basically could infect you. Gee.
Actually, I have a fun question now that you bring that up. So obviously some time has passed since the last session. You know how it
Fuck.
works in a few weeks and all that.
You just had to give him ideas.
Riley, what have you been eating?
I don't know. I don't think Henderson's fed me, like at all.
I mean,
So
if you go and ask him, I'm sure he'll give you some food.
I don't want to bother people. I just kind of
What
live
have you
out
been
there.
eating, Kuma?
Whatever I find in the woods, Not really picky.
Would you have eaten some of those limbs you found?
Fuck if I know. It's not like we tagged them.
Kuma. Kuma, what do you have in your mouth?
Fuck, choose harder.
Stop.
Was suddenly a dog.
Spit it out.
Found it first. It's my kill.
No.
Oh my god.
No, we're not gonna go down that potential timeline because that doesn't end well for anyone.
Fucking into the loop. AU Kuma becomes a zombie.
Oh no.
Zombie bug hybrid. It's gonna happen, people. Full Xeno.
God, no.
Do any of you have the guts to shoot me? Find out now.
I think Trevor would and Allison would.
Oh yeah, no doubt in my mind. I would trust them fully to be able to put me out of my fucking misery.
You can trust us with that. Sitting here loading the gun already.
What gun?
Don't worry about it.
Truthfully, I know Kelly would have a hard time. Kelly would be the one who would have the hardest time doing it.
God, I could just see it now. It's spun where Kelly has the gun. He has to shoot Kuma, while the boys are keeping back the other zombies that I've infected in the past. Be like that. Anyway, we're off topic.
Yes. Says who would like? Well, I suppose we already did kind of discuss what happened last time because it was mostly just dealing with zombies, I suppose.
So if we really want to call it that.
Yep.
So
So yes. it has been a bit of time since, since you guys helped James protect his home. It is now a Saturday. It is Saturday the 21st, 1987.
Like how you keep bringing up the year. It's almost like important.
It's almost like I'm very proud that I figured out a year to have actual days on. You just need to like not look back at every session up to this point where I just said random days and numbers
I
and
wasn't here for
expected
that.
and assumed it would make sense.
Wasn't here for that. Can't say for certain.
But it is
Sorry about-
late February on a Saturday, and winter will be ending soon.
Hella.
What do you plan to do with your Saturday? When do you wake up? What do you dream about?
Just silence.
No, fuck it. Alright. Riley having a nightmare. We're going with the sad boy hours now. Alright.
Oh
Sad boy hours. We're doing it. Alright, no. Riley's waking up. He feels like he's on the ground and it feels like concrete. From his viewpoint, it looks like it's the street late at night. In the background, you can faintly hear what sounds like to be, leather punching what is assumed to be some hard plastic or metal. Riley would turn over and would see faint glimpses of the shadow boxer fighting what was left of his mother, while Kelly and Trevor were also doing their best to attempt to fight back his mom. In the midst, he would slowly try to give it up, but it would seem like an invisible weight would keep him down, barely holding himself up to his knees as he'd look and continue to see his friends continually fighting his mom. As per doing so, he would see flashbacks from when, his early days with being in it with his mom, sharing special moments and such that he was able to share, and learning the things that he did with his mom in terms of hunting, surviving, being able to read, write, all that fancy stuff that he learned from his mother. And in vice versa, teaching her certain things that he learned from the community of watching through the shadows and such. And then it would flash back to the final fight where the shadow boxer laid the final blow on mom and she'd slowly collapse. But there'd be a change in scenery, as then it would seem almost after the body had fallen, and what's left of the remnants of Riley's mom lay dead, it would almost seem as if Riley would look up and see Trevor and Kelly, and they would stare at him and look at him in disgust and anger, and then Trevor with the gloves on would start moving forward. And towards the end, it would almost seem that their eyes would glow red before the dream would end and he would wake up.
no! No!
He would be having sharp breaths in and out and be sweating, but he would wake up in the early morning. Sir Mittens laying in his lap and look up to him and tilt his head, as if questioning what had happened. Riley would rub his face, as he would every morning, shake off whatever dream he thought he had, and get dressed for the day. That's where I'm gonna leave it.
Read! Rikuma.
It's my storytelling. What do you want from me?
Ree.
She'll be fine. It's not like it's actually gonna happen. Anyway, who else wants to tell their morning? It's morning time.
I'm just sitting here like, fuck, how do we follow that up?
Yeah, get one up, bitch!
Because, like, my stuff's always, like, fucking basic and shit. You're over here pulling this fucking stuff. And I was like,
Listen, if
Hey,
I heard...
Fucking, you know how a lot of like 80 shows or whatever or movies, like at the end of it, it just shows a very like a picture of a close-up face of each character and being like, hey, this is what they did after, this is their little epilogue, you know? Trevor went on to live a normal life.
Pretty fucking much. It's just like y'all over here doing this shit. I'm just over here like I'm fucking like bland as fuck compared to some of this shit.
Bruh.
Trevor is the straight man of the group. He's the normal guy.
Dude,
Until you
wait.
put him in a room with Allison, then he's the chaos one.
Yeah. He's one of the people.
You
Fuck, I
saying
should've brought up
Kelly's not
Allison.
a straight like? She's
Maybe
not
I
saying.
said too much.
Bro, you a fucking pipe cleaner.
Right.
I
Excuse
mean,
me?
I don't know what
yeah.
that means.
What do you mean by that?
You can bend it any which way you want,
What do you mean?
and it works.
Oh,
What do you mean?
Okay,
Honestly, I don't get it either.
I don't get
like,
it.
okay, so no, it's like pipe cleaners can be bent in twists and turns and angles and some ways. It's how you write your story, and how your character is.
You mean Respawn can do pretty much anything at this point, and I would just go for it in the sense of going with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Oogie's trying to make a beautiful butterfly with the pipe cleaners, and Respawn keeps coming over being like, I'm gonna make these into zigzags.
I'm going to confuse you now.
I'm gonna attach glitter.
Mm.
Give it a bike helmet, I don't know.
Oh my god.
boogity boogie boogie.
Trevor, wanna go next?
Okay. I guess.
Your dreams, your morning, whichever you prefer.
Whatever I prefer. Okay. I mean, I guess.
No.
I guess I'll do morning then, because I can't come up with some like crazy fucking dream.
Bro.
Like I said, I'm the bland one here. Okay, it's Saturday, so if anything, probably fucking.
Sleep in.
I was about to say, for one, sleeping in, yes, definitely. But I might throw this in there for shits and gigs. Is when he actually does finally get around to waking up, he just grabs his guitar and like goes to bug his sister and is like, "Hey, jam session, bet."
Ben.
So you wake up. Wait, when did you wake up?
He's sleeping in, so I'd say like I don't know, like 9 or something like that.
All right,
It's like average for a middle schooler, I guess. I don't know.
fair enough. If you wake up around 9 a.m., you wake up your sister, who was asleep and sleeping in even more, and then you two just kind of jam.
With a very groggy sister.
Yes.
I'm an
you
asshole,
play
brother. Don't
your.
worry about it.
You play your. It was bass, right?
Yes.
Oof. I gotta check my notes to check. It's been like a bit.
It's
Yeah.
been like 3 weeks since we last did this game.
Yeah. So I'm having to recheck my notes for some, like, I remember all the major details, but some minor details I'm missing here and there. Yeah, your sister also plays bass, so you two just jam out on bass guitar together.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
It's
Pretty good.
And then, of course, Kelly, your dreams, your morning.
Kelly always seems to have some crazy dreams, nothing too specific
Hmm.
and such like that. She wakes up a little bit groggy and such. I say she wakes up around 8. Kind of gets dressed and such like that. Takes a bit or two taking a look at the painting she's been working on every so often. kind of commenting to herself, going like, I still need to work on this thing.
Gotcha.
But, um, after taking a look at her painting a little bit, she heads over to the kitchen, where I'm sure her dad's still sleeping in, and her mom's already downstairs and such. So,
Your father seems to be out at the moment, and your mother is, yes, downstairs, setting up for the day.
Kelly can give a guess on where he's at,
Perhaps.
seeing how he's been hanging out with Trevor's dad.
Yes.
But, Kelly, proceeds to get some, breakfast. Just nothing much, just some cereal with some, and such. And, after eating, she grabs her bag and kind of head downstairs. And after doing some small chat with her mom, here and there, she'll tell her she's hanging out for a little bit, just visiting friends and so forth, and Kelly heads out.
Alright.
And that's Kelly's morning.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So Riley's waking up from a fitful dream. Trevor's jamming out with his sister. Gilly's going out on the town.
Hmm? Oh, also Kelly runs back in for a quick moment and grab a few snacks and then come back out.
Fair enough.
So, what now?
I believe plot
that's-
progression is a thing, but we'll need to instigate it to fight.
Yes, as I said, today is more of your guys' stuff.
Hella. I'm taking the ferret out hunting. Well, the cat that people
The
think is a
cat.
ferret. I've accepted at this point that you people believe it's a ferret, so at this point, Sir Mittens and I are just hanging out in
This
the
thing that may or may not be a cat or a ferret.
do,
ferret.
do another perception, do another, investigate roll to see if you
If
guys
you
can
want.
pick up on the.
Fine, whatever. All right. Let's put this to bed. Is Sir Mittens a ferret, a cat, or some sort of raccoon, or alien being from another?
Raccoon, opossum, ferret thing.
All right,
Squirrel.
yeah, raccoon opossum. This long noodle's really long, but I think it's good.
It's an animal.
Fuck all you guys. I'm taking my long noodle and we're going hunting.
In the snow?
Yes.
Alright.
Listen, here. This is you have to understand. All right, Sir Mittens and I don't really differentiate whether it's a plant, animal, or some guy's shoe for going hunting, and that's why I've taken.
Or some guy's shoe. Okay.
Listen, one of these days, we're gonna be dealing with the crazy man, and it's gonna be his weakness that we chew on his crazy-looking sneakers,
Oh my god.
and I'm going to send him Sir Mittens, and he's gonna be the savior. He's gonna be the one adventure we needed. So I just set up sticks and stuff that look like animals, I guess, and make snow piles that look like animals, and just kind of let them just go, my evil destructional being, do thing. He'll look at me like I'm an idiot, and then he'll just go over, knock over the sticks, and then go bury in one of the animals and just sit there. He's like, that's my boy. That's my boy. They grow up so fast. Anyway, then I look out towards the town. It's like, today, did I cause chaos? Yeah, I think today's the day. scoop up, like go like dig my hands into the scoop out in the snow, pull out my cat, ferret, raccoon, Sir Mittens, stuff him in my hoodie, in the hood of my hoodie. That's his little carrying pouch, and it's like, I'm gonna need tools for this.
Oh no.
And walk back into the treehouse.
Hmm.
Kelly's just casually just walking. She's gonna pay a visit to the treehouse since she hasn't been there for a little bit.
Fair enough. Mhm.
Casually walking up to the treehouse.
Watch out, that's old. That's church, and that's old house right there. That's scary stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good memories.
Good memories.
Nice.
Memories.
As you went by, you probably would have noticed that the church has been pretty much repaired and such.
Yeah.
Like it, aside from Eleanor and Riley's house, everything's basically been put back for the most part,
Yeah.
fixed up.
I'm surprised they haven't done anything with that house yet. Honestly.
I mean, who really owns the land?
As I quote Allison herself, aliens.
But yeah. Kelly shows up at the treehouse and such.
You would see Riley have like a backpack on the floor at the base of the treehouse if you've climbed up the tree yet. Several odd bits and things inside, including but not limited to forks, utensils, many of the things that Mr. Henderson gave him.
Hmm.
Devices, not really just a cardboard box with like a sticker on it. It has device written very poorly and misspelled because it says dev and then dash ice. Riley would turn holding what you assume to be a very small pair of pliers and being like, "Oh, hi.
Hi, what you up to?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm not up to." You point like with the pliers. I am not up to chaos.
You sure?
Chaos.
Perhaps.
Okay, what kind of chaos are you not up to?
I am not intending on breaking into anywhere to look for anything and to disrupt the order of certain things.
Would this place have a corporation that starts with a W?
Maybe. What's it to you?
She sits on the bed and just kind of like, really?
You have to understand. Alright, this man hasn't done. Let's notice about the fact as well. You have to understand. He hasn't done anything besides what he's normally been doing for who knows how long.
Fair enough.
And nobody stopped him. Unless nobody's noticed that he hasn't done jack squat. Have you been to the store lately? Has he stopped stealing coffee?
He's still stealing coffee and all caffeine products.
Listen, Kelly, you have to understand. Someone's got to be the Robin Hood in this situation. And as the social outcast and the literal planetary outcast of this entire place, I am more than willing to put the effort forward to break into a private building to steal caffeinated products for the good of the people. Hey, at least it's me and it's not Allison. Allison can get arrested for this.
Kelly just kind of face palms a little bit and where's your Sir Mittens?
Sir Mittens would just kind of poke his head out from my shoulder on the left, from the
I'm
hoodie.
gonna do I'm gonna do this just to see if I notice anything with Sir Mittens. Oh, that's a 1.
I mean, As with Riley, you can tell that this is an animal. You can tell that it has 4
You're-
legs
you have
and
this,
a head and a tail
you
and
have this
fur.
as a set of high roll, don't you?
It's quite high.
Like how?
Maybe someday you'll figure out why and just how high.
Oh my God.
I assure you, there's a reason beyond comedic purposes why it is so difficult to place what this thing is.
Really?
Yes,
I'm
it
good.
might come up. It might come up in Things from the Flood, though.
Oh
Oh.
damn.
You have not unlocked this character yet.
Listen, me and Sir Mittens have agreed through a conversation of high intellect that we decided that it'd be good if we did at least something. And if we get arrested, who's going to believe that a giant, scary alien with arm knives and a noodle for a second head attacked a building?
One, you're not going in there with your alien appearance out. Cause good lord, the whole town's gonna freak if you do that.
Well, I've scared one Russian family and one Orthodox
Technically
priest.
only one kid, truthfully. That was James. And he seems pretty cool by it now. He seems pretty cool by it.
By his standards, technically speaking, he was kind of being treated like an alien by the school standards. But that's on another case entirely, and I've been reading a lot of politics books. But not the point. Other thing is you're right, and it's broad daylight. But that's a worst case scenario.
And you're doing it in daylight with this stuff.
Nobody expects me to do it in daylight.
You know that's where most of the activity's gonna be, right?
Here's the thing. You're right. But I don't have parents to punish me if I do anything wrong.
My main concern is them finding some way of just messing with you.
Yeah, well, if they try to kill me, it's child murder. And if they mess with the treehouse, it's destruction of private property.
Did Mr. Henderson buy this area?
I don't know. Listen, there's probably a lot of loopholes I can pull here. There's probably a nature preserve somewhere nearby. I don't know.
He
Honestly,
gets up from the bed and kind of goes over to pet Sir Mittens.
kinda
little
just he lets it happen and will roll his head in your hand. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, this is the basics. There's a big bully in town, and he's messing with our people. I can't just sit by and let that stand.
The biggest concern is the fact that they have records on us.
Yeah, they're stalking us. That's another thing. I say we hit him where it hurts. We're kids. We could basically get away with anything and only
No,
get
we
minor.
can't get away with everything.
Listen, if we can get away with finding a spaceship, fighting a giant monster who was in fact my mother, thank you very much.
Which the town doesn't know of, in the sense of things. Your mom, only Mr. Henderson and Father Mackenzie knows about that incident.
Yeah, and I'd prefer not having to go back about that.
Fair enough. Then there's the spaceship, which, yes, Mr. Henderson knows because I told him about it, but he's the only adult that knows about it.
Technically, are we going to bring up the giant electric dog that you put a parent into?
Also, William Ryder as well, who knows it, and his dad.
A lot of people know a lot of strange things here. Listen, out of all the things we've done, breaking and entering is not the craziest thing I've done.
Truthfully, it's more the factor of I don't think everybody in this town is. I mean, look, they kind of kept out that they kind of had iffy suspicions of Ted's dad, which is a missing person who caused all this madness to kind of start up in the first place. And they were just kind of treating him as the crazy guy, almost, with how things were going. So, with what we are doing in the sense of the previous stuff was easily seen as imaginary, just make believe. I mean, Mr. Henderson believed that until he saw, till that night, basically. Because I was telling him stuff beforehand a little bit, and he thought we were just really good at playing make believe.
Yeah.
But
Well,
this going into a actual building full of people just to steal stuff. That's another whole entire thing. That's a whole different ballpark right there, because it's actually in the town. People know about the place, and yeah.
well, I've been reading my business books, and it says something about corporate espionage, and I think I get bonus points if I do that as well. So I'm kind of going by ear.
What kind of books have you been reading?
I just pick out random stuff that looks cool, and I haven't read the library. I'm kind of halfway through the library right now. I'm getting in really nice with the library. They're really nice people. Anyway, he just tosses the pliers in the backpack and zips up the backpack. Listen, I'm doing this. I'm getting the coffee back. If I get arrested, I'll call you from bail. Alright?
You don't even have my phone number.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about it.
No, I'm worrying about it extremely more.
Bad that I've also thought about bringing in Trevor in on this because he has the gloves. It would be 10 times easier instead of cutting through a fence if he just busts through the wall, get us the coffee, and go.
No, that would make things a lot more worse on our end.
Listen, we just grounded up to the crazy hooligans that busted up the church.
This is broad daylight.
Yes.
There's gonna be witnesses. Most likely.
Just kind of rolls up his sleeves.
No, 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 no.
Never let me murder once.
I'm sorry. What about what happened a few weeks ago?
We don't discuss that. Anyway. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, this is the only way I see how it works. Because I don't expect all three of us, including Trevor, because I know Allison's probably still sleeping. Or out in the woods somewhere. To go walk up to the door of the Weasel's place and just demand for our coffee back. And I know for a fact filing for a civil lawsuit is not going to end well. Listen, I know you're a good person, but being nice isn't going to give us our coffee back. So don't mind me.
I
while
know
go
you
break-
guys isn't gonna be bring our coffee back.
Then let me go beat up an old man and his cronies for coffee.
We don't know about how things are gonna play out.
Good, because you're not going to be there, because I don't intend for you to get in trouble for this. It's only going to be me and whoever else I pull in, which is most likely going to be Trevor.
You can bring in Trevor. I have. You know how much I worry for you both. In the
Listen,
sense of
I wear
things.
the bandana for a reason now.
Yes, I know. But
Would it make you feel any better if I go stop by the hunting shop and getting a gun?
no.
Okay. Well, just slings the backpack on. Let's go. I gotta go stop by Trevor's place anyway.
Fine. Okay.
He just starts walking out of the treehouse, making his way down.
Kelly follows. You know what? If you're getting into this madness and you bring Trevor in, I'm coming with.
I'm technically bringing Trevor, you, and Sir Mittens along, because he's kind of the only one that can fit into the piping. Isn't that
Fair
right,
enough.
Sir Mittens? Isn't that right, Sir Mittens? And you just kind of just, cuddle him while the ferret slash cat slash raccoon just sits there. Just like, yes, it is I, the spy.
How is Sir Mittens, by the way?
He's doing well. We've been practicing hunting and stuff. I mean, he's not really into it as much as I am, but we're getting there. And he's been growing up very well, but he's been getting extreme longer than I thought a normal cat should. So I'm kind of worried.
Maybe we should check the books again to see if he's not. It could be he's a certain type of cat, or he's another animal entirely.
I mean, he could be a crossbreed from a cat and a wiener dog. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I mean, science is weird as it is.
Fair
Anyway,
enough.
just walks up to Trevor's door and starts knocking on it.
Roughly how long has it been?
It's been a while. What are you up to?
Cause I'm sitting here. It's like, if this was fast enough, he wouldn't hear shit. But yeah, if it's been long enough, then yeah, he's probably just fucking sitting down, relaxing. So yeah, just opens door. Oh hey guys.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Bootleg Allison. You wanna bust into a building with us?
Hold up, what?
Riley's tempted on going into the building.
It's not a temptation. I'm doing it whether or not you guys are coming.
Which
You know.
building?
Starts with a W.
Weasel's place.
Okay. Do you have an actual plan?
There's two ways I plan on going about this blockhead. I cut through the fence slide, we break into the door, I use Mr. Mittens to go through the pipeline to be able to break into the
You see Kelly
ventilation.
just reach up and try petting Sir Mittens a little bit more, but the fact is she's so small.
The ferret just looks back at you being like, this man's insane.
Kelly nods.
As far as I'm concerned, once Sir Mittens get past the security system on the computers, we bust in through the front gate, get all the coffee we can, and get out. We continually do this raid consistently to bring coffee back to the people. It's that, or I have you use the gloves to bust open a wall, and we steal the coffee that way.
I'm not sure that's how those work.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
I've yet to punch something that isn't alive, so I don't want to test that. At least not on a brick wall.
You know, we're gonna have to test it at some point in time because it's a useful utility tool.
Well, yeah, sure, something that won't break my hand when I fucking swing full force, maybe.
I mean, if your intent is to bust open walls, it's just like hurting inanimate objects, so.
Still, I do not like the idea of me just swinging full force randomly at a wall, thinking I can break through it.
Oh, did you want to? I got the C4. No.
Kelly just looks at Riley like, dude!
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Listen. It's that. Or. I've been reading a lot of mechanical books. Because I've been wanting to study up on tinkering. Because it seems like that's what we're missing out.
Okay.
I want to fix the gun. And I want to see if we can get the car wash working.
What?
Listen, here's the thing. I've been rolling it over in my head. Alright? If it's possible to not only put the other half of the Shadow Boxer together,
We haven't
could
even
also.
tried giving the boxer the gloves yet.
That's another thing on the checklist.
Yeah.
But my point is I've been reading enough mechanical books to know a basic understanding of engineering. I might be able to get the gun functional or working if I keep getting at it, or I keep working with it. Also, I can try to figure out and read the schematics again, see if we can figure out if there's anything in the car wash that we can get working again. And maybe work out some of the kinks of causing dynamic storms in the area.
I mean, with the car wash itself, we already know that it's missing a thing.
What's it missing?
Some sort of, it's a two-parter. There's something else to it that basically will have it fully functioning, but it's not in the car. It's not there.
Do we have any leads to where it could be?
I don't know. I mean, we could take. I have the stuff at my house.
Okay. So here are our options. I otherwise A, take you to or go by myself with Sir Mittens, and I ramble the hell into a Weasel's building to get coffee. Or B, you guys help me, and we start trying to figure out what half of this cockamamie tech does, and see if we can get it working.
We can also talk to you know who a little bit.
That was part of my plan. Kelly, seeing as you like to do the talking, I'll let you handle that.
Okay. Have fun with that.
No, Trevor, you're coming with. I don't want you sitting in your house all by yourself. You're coming with.
Okay. Where are we
Uh,
going?
That's up to us. Do we want to bust into a building or do we want to play mechanics?
The
So
one that
many
doesn't
options.
involve you punching a wall.
Sneaking into a building it is. Alright, let's
No,
go.
no,
Son of a
no.
bitch.
One of these days, you guys aren't going to find me in the treehouse because I'm already going to go full on Rambo and try to sneak into this building.
And then you go missing for a few days, and we start being concerned. And then we have to go in there and get you out.
Again, better me than Allison. So I'm assuming we're choosing.
I think both of you are equally as bad. Truthfully, in this case, in this case scenario.
Excuse me.
You good? Riley, you good?
Can't believe Riley just died on our front door.
Shit. No.
Riley then proceeds to kill over and die. No.
Oh,
Actually,
shit, there's a body on our front door. What do I do?
Oblivion. Since we're on
Yeah.
this train, do you want to do an investigate to see if you notice anything odd with Sir Menton's?
Do we? I mean, do I even see him? Where is he currently?
He's in.
He's sitting in my hood.
Yes,
Oh.
with his head poking out. So.
He just kind of looks at you and is like, fucking.
Okay,
Alright.
alright.
So, same as Riley was able to figure, you can tell that Mittens is an animal. Same as Kelly can figure. He has a head, a tail, and legs and fur. You can
Okay.
tell that he's vaguely reminiscent of a cat, vaguely reminiscent of a ferret, maybe something else. General ballpark.
It is furry noodle, yes.
I am gonna
Anyway.
scream if it's the starfish or ferret thing I drew up that one time. Respawn.
No, you'd probably be able to tell if he were made of stars. That'd be very easy to notice.
Yes, but you're still doing something weasel-like.
Sir Mittens would look at Trevor and be like, Paul Stanley, is that you?
Who?
Just kind of tilts his head and look at you. Oh my god, it's Steven Tyler. It's David Bowie.
Oh my god.
Steven Tyler and David Bowie all as one person. Anyway,
Oh,
Alright.
God.
fine, we're taking the safe option. But I'm busting into that building one of these days.
Yeah. At least have
Oh,
all of us.
okay.
Okay, if we're gonna go through the building, we just need a really, really good plan in a sense of things, and not just go in head first type of deal. Got it?
Say what you will. I'm busting in one way or another. Anyway, come on. Let's hit. You got. Actually, Kelly, why don't you. Do you want to grab the thing and the book and everything else we got from the.
It's
Garage.
at my house. It's at my house in my room.
Alright, so I'm guessing we're gonna make our way there while we make our way.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay. Come on, David Bowie. We're moving out.
The fuck did I become David Bowie?
When you started liking rock music.
He's always liked rock music.
Exactly. He's always been David Bowie.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Kelly opens the door and lets the other two in.
Ah.
You do want to?
Your brother, of course, gives you all welcomes and such. It's like, oh, hello.
Hey, Ma,
Hello.
just coming back in here to pick up something.
All right.
Sir,
What?
go ahead.
You guys want to follow me and such?
I'll
Or-
stay down. I'll stay down here and watch the front door. From my understanding, it looks like if at any point in time we have somebody following us, they're mainly after you two and the orange one. I don't think they know about me yet,
Okay.
Okay.
at least to a certain extent.
Kelly goes up to her. You following Trevor?
Sure.
Kelly goes up to her room with Trevor behind her, and she goes in. The room itself is not too big, not too small. It has like a few shelves, a little desk area, a bed. The walls are you they're kind of a mess. He said to Nun. It's clear she's gotten a bit bored and painted a few times on the walls.
I see.
Nothing too complex though. It's just like fun little patterns and such like that.
As long as they don't turn into cryptic messages, we're fine.
In the middle of the room there is a painting of sorts. It's clearly unfinished, but what you can see is 4 figures. Most of them are pretty tall. One of them's pretty short. What?
Nice.
Kelly goes into a drawer, like one of the shelves, and thinks about a little bit. You see her pulling out a folder, with a little bit of a title saying odd paintings on the folder. And she put that on the shelf as she's looking around for the other things. Here we go. She grabs the broken gun. She comments, luckily, parents think this is just a busted ass squirt gun.
Probably.
I mean, probably for the best.
Yep, she grabs the blueprints for the car wash. And the very old journal of what happened to Miss Rosie O'Malley. And she proceeds to put all 3 of those things in her bag. She goes over to put the folder that's titled Odd Paintings back in the shelf, push that in, and goes, okay. We can go, and such.
Okay, let's go.
Mhm.
Riley would be sitting by the door looking out the window. Sir Mitten's sitting on his shoulder looking out as well, and you could hear some sort of soft conversation going on between the ever conversational Riley and the quiet Sir Mittens, who cannot say a fucking word. And the last words you hear, it's like, you're right, that card does look weird. And then you look up and be like, oh, what's up?
Huh, well done.
So,
Find everything we needed?
yeah.
Good. You want to head out then? Or do you have
Um,
anything else you need from here?
Not much, actually.
To the junkyard. Do-do-do-do.
Alright, let's rock.
Okay.
That's my job.
You know what? Then you should have said it.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
Excuse me,
I'm
Prince.
also gonna do this just to make sure nothing odd's happening around us.
Okay.
Here you go. Ooh.
No, seems like a calm Saturday.
And this is for when we're walking down the street too.
Yeah,
The
no,
junkyard.
there's a car or two going by. There's people shopping and going about buying things and so on and so forth. Not a lot of people, obviously. Still a small town. Not a lot of tourists either.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So this is the one thing I have a question about.
Hmm.
Do we intend on telling Energizer Battery about this, or are we just gonna be like, "Hey,
About
brought a gun"?
I mean, he already knows I has it.
Just making sure. Not to say that we should lie to somebody again after last time. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
for the
I
safety
say
of everyone.
yeah, probably best to tell him at least on what planning was.
You firm? All right. Riley would just gently like knock on the gate.
Alright.
Scruffy.
It just kind of opens on its own.
Huh. Cool.
Kelly
Oh, wow.
walks in.
You know where the elevator is for this place?
Yeah, but we need keys. And, I believe we also need to talk to a certain person, which isn't, Scruffy. Because, William took the keys.
Oh.
Hmm?
Well, then where's William? You think he's still here?
He's been normally hanging out around his dad.
You never know. Something could change. You might want some outside time.
That's fair enough. Kelly looks around a bit to see if she notices anything.
You wouldn't immediately see William. You would see that the lights are on in Scruffy's office, though, so he's clearly in at the moment.
Okay.
Well, office, his little building he stays in.
She goes over to the car wash to see if William's having another smoke.
He does not seem to be outside at the moment. Roll me a quick investigate, though.
Sure.
You would notice, however, that despite the car wash doors being closed, the lock is not currently on them.
Hmm.
Kelly goes in.
You open the car wash door.
Yep.
You'll notice that the floor is not currently there and is below.
I think I know where William is.
Probably.
I'm curious if he can hear us. Kelly kind of screams.
Try screaming into the schism, see what happens.
Yeah, basically. She kind of like takes a deep breath and says out loud, very loudly, it's just like, "William, you down there?"
You hear a bit of clattering echo up from down below. And a few seconds later, you'd hear the whirring of the elevator starting to make its way back up, and you'd probably get a glimpse of William standing on it, holding the button down so it keeps going.
Hey, dude.
He kind of waves up at you. What brings you by?
Kind of. Well, it's either we kind of feel like more messing around with tech today than going with Riley's plan of trying to do something that could
Corporate
be safe.
espionage is supposedly illegal, so we picked the ulterior plan that's legal.
I suppose that's fair.
It is what it is, my
Yeah.
guy. They didn't want to come with me. It would have been a solo op had they not stopped me. Anyway,
Is Trevor and Riley also in the car wash as well?
we were walking up behind, either way.
Trevor?
A little bit more time would pass, and then
Yes.
eventually the thing would be level with the floor, so you could
Yeah.
actually walk onto it without having to jump.
Kelly behind closes the door once Trevor and Riley come in.
Hmm.
Is there an inside lock of sorts? For this car wash.
There's not a lock on the inside, no.
Okay. She just closes the door then, and walks over.
Hmm.
You know, kind of. Riley's been thinking about messing around with tech a little bit more and such. So,
It's been on the docket for a little bit. Again, it was that or breaking into a building and Robin Hooding the hell out of the coffee, but unfortunately it's supposedly illegal. And it would
I
be
mean,
dangerous for my
yes.
well-being. So,
Fair enough.
ulterior plan.
Now that you're all on and the doors close again, the floor elevator thing will begin to descend again.
yeah.
Anyway,
Have you figured out anything on your end, William?
I mean, anything in particular you want to know about?
Just stuff going on and such like that.
from our understanding, you've been cooped up down here for a while now. Not even sure if we've seen you at school.
I mean, I've been working with Dad on.
Hmm. I mean, last time we chatted, you said you were gonna be keeping an eye open or an ear open on the Weasel guys.
Yeah.
Anything new on
They-
them?
Well, they haven't snooped around down here yet, or in this area anyways, so I'm not super worried about them
Yeah.
finding out about our situation here. Honestly, not much change. They're continuing as they did when they showed up, when the CEO showed up, scaring
Truthfully,
people and trying to buy out everything they can get their hands on.
yeah. Though the concerning factor of them getting their hands on me, Trevor, Riley's, and Allison's like school info. That's highly concerning.
Maybe highly concerning for you if my information was actually real.
Fair enough. But the rest of us three, though,
It's true.
This is fine.
yeah, they basically bribed the
They
Was it-
bribed the school. They
Not-
bribed one of the teachers.
they bribed one of the teachers because he had a really bad coffee addiction, and they used that as their advantage. So we're not too sure on why they wanted our student info.
At least we're covering our trails now. We made sure we weren't being followed when we got here, so you shouldn't be linked to anything as far as we're concerned.
I mean, that should be what we be doing every single time we come over here. Truthfully.
It is what it is.
How's your dad doing, by the way?
Well, the elevator would finally reach the bottom, and you'd see, the monster that is currently holding the mind of Jerry, at the improvised large work desk fiddling with things.
Kelly, I think I'll let you handle this, but may I please have the thingy.
Which thingy? I have
The
three.
The thingy that does the bang and the shooting in the pew. I'm just going to put it together. I have no intention of firing it within this building. And I plan on giving it back to you once we're done.
Kelly goes into her bag, grabs it, hands it.
I'll ask you if I need any notes. Riley would just gently take the weapon. I'll ask you if there's any notes that I need to read about, but otherwise I think you'll have a very nice conversation with Mr. Ryder. Have a good day. And you walk over to one of the nearby
Don't blow up
benches.
anything.
No promises. You just set it down and just begin to fiddle with it.
Great, okay. Kelly goes over to the giant desk. Is there like a ladder or anything this time around to climb on top?
Unfortunately, no. There's still no ladder to get all the way up to being on top of the desk.
Kelly comments, you should really add a ladder or something for like at some point.
He kind of turns his head and looks on you. He's like, I mean, I don't really want people walking on my workspace, and I'd prefer to get a chair first.
That's
You know,
fair
he brings up a
enough.
good point.
I mean, it's just so big. It's a, I mean, is there a chair that's able to let me see over the desk? Have you made one?
I more meant a chair for myself.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
It's
Sorry.
alright. What brings you by the lab?
Riley wanted to mess around with tinkering.
You could hear it from the way back. It was that or breaking into the Weasel's building, but supposedly that's illegal. Just go back to working on the weapon.
I mean, it is, but okay.
Listen, I'm not. You made a big scientist, but I need to at least break into one building this week if I want to. Plus, the dude's been
What?
stealing all the coffee like in the area, so it's kind of a big bully move.
Hmm.
Besides, the man's probably got secrets that are worth getting into anyway. Corporate espionage is supposedly bonus points from the business books I've been reading.
What kind of books have you been reading?
Business and politics.
God Lord.
I think he's been reading fictional books on those topics.
Most
It is what
likely.
It is what it is. It's gonna happen either way. Besides, here's the thing. I told you this before, Kelly. It's me or it's Allison, and Allison can get arrested for it. I can't.
God.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Don't judge me. I'm on a roll here. Anyway.
William, by the way, has found a rolly chair and is just kind of checked out of the conversation in it.
um. So anything new going on down here?
Well, as you might have noticed, I've fine-tuned the translator a bit more so you can actually understand me.
Yeah, that's good.
Don't have to write on surfaces or have you guys try to interpret what I mean using basic words.
That or doing the whole weird mind thing.
Yeah, I'm also happy to be past that.
Yeah. Heavily so.
At the moment, most of my work is being occupied by, well, what it has been for the last several years, trying to find a way to figure out where the heck he went, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Look back. That's another thing. We wanted to get the car wash working, but my understanding and the understanding of others, there's several components missing that need to be otherwise found or located or something along those lines. I'm
Yeah.
kind I'm kind of trying to put together this, and he'd hold up the penumbra gun, but that may take a little bit. Just put it back down.
Well, I suppose good luck with that thing. It was not easy to make the first time around. As for the car wash, of course, we have the main, systems still installed, but
Yeah.
the primary engine and the parts that actually, built the portal, like gave it a housing and such, all of that's the part that's missing.
Do you have
Yeah.
any do you have any ideas who could have taken it?
I mean, I have a theory as to what might have happened, but,
Please indulge us.
well, considering he was experimenting so heavily with it, my best guess is that at some point it teleported itself on accident. Maybe took him with.
Hmm.
That could
Maybe,
be a
or
possibility.
maybe even on purpose, but whatever the case, it's nowhere in this town, far as I can tell.
Hmm.
So,
And I'm assuming recreating a new one would be an inefficient use of resources and such, as certain.
I mean, it's not like I have any other use for the resources at my disposal. Like, what do you think I'm working on right now? I'm going over the old schematics and blueprints, trying to rebuild the thing. Unfortunately, since I was, just an assistant, a lot of the more important parts of it, I don't have the blueprints for. I can build some
Actually,
of the smaller bits, but
Kelly goes into her bag and pulls out blueprints.
he crouches down a bit further than he already had to work at his desk to try and look. Mind if I?
Yeah, here. This was when we first stumbled onto this place.
He'll gently take it and set it down on the table. It's like, well, I wish I could say this solved all my problems, but what you have here is the schematic for how all the various parts go together. Like the car wash and the housing and the engine and such.
Okay.
So at the very least, I now have a list of all the parts we're missing. Well, all the main components we're missing. Parts, of course, I still need to scrounge up and put together, but it doesn't have the instructions for how to build each of the component parts.
Okay. But
is
it
there-
gives you some names and such like that, so you can probably have a little bit of a easier time maybe finding the blueprints for those parts. Correct?
Potentially, yes, but there's still going to be a few parts of this that aren't going to be down here.
Mm-hmm.
Would there be a place that he might have stored some of this stuff besides to memory?
I mean, he only really had 2 places he kept anything. Here, where all the, super secret stuff was, in case the companies tried to come looking or knocking or whatnot. And the other would be his house.
Which is a heavy spot
Yeah,
for the weasels.
he's a man who liked his privacy. Even I wasn't allowed to visit him at his home.
Really?
Yep. We came here to work, and that's about the most I ever saw of him.
Hmm. I mean, I've been trying to say hi every so often to Ted.
Oh yeah, his kid.
Mm-hmm. Kind of
Just
tricky every so often, with the fact that the weasels are kind of really interested on the house. But
Is this the guy you told me you broke into his house or something like that?
that was technically Allison who did that.
Ah, that explains that.
I got hit in the face with a pie.
Huh. Okay. Is
Yeah.
It,
I think it was a lemon one, so it was kind of stinging in a sense of things. But yeah,
And there's no chance we can get this Ted guy to at least talk to us?
I mean, I've been talking to him every so often. He's kind of just been dealing with my stuff, I think.
Oh.
But I've been kind of good enough in the sense of I think he's kind of more used to me paying visits now.
Well, the way I see it, this Ted guy seems to be the one person who might have some lead into trying to get this thing together. Maybe even the penumbra gun
Yeah,
if we're
though the
lucky.
last time Allison brought up the topic of his dad, he instantly noped out.
I get it. I mean, I'm not exactly sure my mom was the greatest of parents either, and now she's gone. But the guy can't keep running away from his problems.
Mm.
I mean, speaking from my perspective and going through somewhat of the same issue, well, besides the fact that I watched you guys kill my mom, and Riley would kind of just shiver at the thought. But if he's our chance of trying to get, this particular individual back, he's gonna have to kind of work with us here.
I mean, that's when he finds out we're doing such things.
Listen, it is what it is. He'll need to at least work with us
Okay,
one way or
so
William coughs a little.
another. Oh, yeah,
what's
sorry,
up?
sorry.
I don't mean to interpose in your guys' conversation, but if I may propose an idea, given
Mhm.
my knowledge of the town and the general workings of things. I'm sure you're all well aware that nobody in town likes the weasels.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're well aware that if you had to pick out, someone who dislikes the weasels the most, given the horrible effect they've had on their life, who do you think that'd be?
Shit.
I fear Ted, basically because they're pounding his house every single day.
Yeah, Ted's family is being, from my understanding, basically being stalked.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's kind of grown up to be paranoid as all hell, doesn't trust anyone. But perhaps if we were able to fix this weasels issue, I mean, I don't mean to potentially encourage breaking into a building. There's probably other ways.
Riley would just
But-
start pulling out pliers.
But in some way getting the weasels off Ted's back might be a good move.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is not to break in.
I mean, a plan can be made for something,
I'm a
but
bit
probably not breaking in. That seems a little risky.
risky. Gets us greater benefits if done right.
But can also get you in serious trouble.
Yeah. Distinctly remember who the hybrid is in the room and who the the human
Which
is in
makes
the room.
which makes things worse if they catch you.
What are you expecting? Some Area 51 nonsense? This isn't the 50s.
It's the 80s.
Exactly. Should be fine.
God damn it.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, we can't just march into the building and expect them to go fly
I
off into another
mean,
direction.
I could think of a good distraction for the weasels.
Are we busting up the car again? Is the car plan coming back
No,
into play? Uh-huh.
the badgers.
So what, you want to start a corporate war?
Those guys are the reason why they're in town in the first place is because they saw the weasels as a good competition. The group likes competition. They like a challenge. They like to do things. They were basically a outdoorsy sports corporation before they ended up in this place.
So what you're saying is that we tell the badgers to try to break in Louisa's building and break in with them. I like this plan.
I was thinking along the lines of them being more of a distraction force, of having them do something to challenge the weasels in some sort of mannerism.
I mean, they have been buying a lot of coffee from the stores. Maybe if the badgers try to counter them harder.
We need to figure out what would be a good, much better counter, if that's the case.
We steal all the biscuits in the city. Listen, I haven't gotten to my food etiquette books here. You have to cut me some slack here.
You're fine.
The only other thing I can think about is the fact being is that the badgers buy out all the gas in the area so that the Weasel CEO can't drive his car everywhere with that god foreboding creak that it has.
Yeah, that thing's pretty noisy. Well, actually, God. Great, I'm thinking of what my mom told me. The one time. Um, even though we found, like, nothing on the Badger Corporation guy, on losing wise,
Besides,
besides the chest stuff, yeah, turns out, he did lose at something. Other than that.
story for another time, but you continue your plan.
I don't exactly know, but I'm thinking about possibly having, because I've interacted with the Badgers here and there. The Badgers actually seem like actual nice people. They're actually pretty decent folks. Funny enough. I mean, when I went to talk to my mom the one day where we were in the library researching the Badgers, one of the Badger folks were in the store and they were trying to pick up some cards and stuff, which they accidentally knocked over.
Oof.
And they were actually really nice and such. So maybe we have a better time, like possibly talking and seeing if we can do something in the sense of getting them to be a distraction for the weasels even more so.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's just got to, like you said, it has to be a big enough distraction, which would cause a lot of the weasels to focus on that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
still
but-
think buying up all the gas would be an interesting. Or, back to my original plan, we hire them to raid the building.
I don't think you would be up for raiding the building.
I would be up. I would lead a magnificent squad of Badger elites into the building.
Kelly just like looks at Jacob for a moment and then just at Riley.
You look at me like I'm doing something wrong, but I can tell you right now, I already have the layout. Sir Mittens would be my XO. He'd get a really cool looking hat, and we'd bust in the building with crowbars and
Do
pliers.
you not even know how the building is?
We don't need to know how the building is if we just have to keep busting through walls until we find what we need.
That would make things a lot more difficult, and the police would probably come.
That's an objective completed in my book.
No, it's not.
It is for me.
Trevor, help me out here, please.
Okay, which of his plans is he on right now? Because he's gone over 3 so far.
We're talking about going back and hiring challenging the Badgers to break into the Weasel building, in which I would lead an elite squad of Badgers with Sir Mittens as my XO to be able to bust into the building and getting things and information. To in turn be able to get the Weasels off Ted's back so that he could help us in restoring the functionality of the device that's currently over us. Maybe getting a Medal of Honor or something. I don't know. That's a sidetrack. Anyway.
No, just no.
Well, you know what? I'm going with the direct route. If you guys got some sneaky way of going about it, then I'll go back to corporate espionage.
Okay, you have fun with that.
I was thinking more lines of making. It was a combination between the sneaking in part, but I would like some research on like the building itself, so we know where the Dickens we're going. Type of deal, and also see if we can get the Badgers to be a good distraction, like a heavy duty one, because the group likes a good challenge, and that's why they're here in the first place. Because they saw the Weasels as a good challenge. Because the boss has a big thing about challenges. Like, he will challenge you into a competition. Which we could actually use as a possible way to convince, in the sense of things. Because the CEO of Badgers, how he hired folks was basically challenging them to like more physical things, in the sense of things. He's not too good with like smarts because he's lost to chess, but but he has lost for one physical before, which is against my dad. But that's another story. He was flirting with my mom.
Okay, let's go. I don't even know if I want to hear this story, but let's continue.
But basically, the idea maybe is just the factor of we could sort of quote unquote hire the Badgers in a sense of challenge them, personally challenge them, and if we win, like get the CEO, in a sense, challenge the CEO. If we win, we can probably ask them to do something pretty outlandish or something like that, as like a good distraction or something.
Yeah, but isn't like the point if we lose, what would happen?
From the reports, normally he hires folks.
So what? We're gonna be 12, 13-year-olds with jobs?
My guess is probably more to it will we probably have to ask him on what he wants in return if we do challenge him in some regard. But we would probably need to have something that would interest him in some regard.
Hmm.
But from my knowledge, the dude loves challenges. From what we studied and looked up, and also how we, what I was told, he straight up loves doing challenges off the wazoo. So, I'm certainly know yes, he's lost a game of chess before, so that's a thing. And again, he's lost something physical in the sense of being tossed out of a ring because my dad. Um, but we kind of just need to figure out a good challenge that would allow us to win.
Riley would just hold up the penumbra. What about this thing's power source? Isn't it like some weird rock that people are attracted to? What if we challenge him to just not be attracted to the rock?
No, that makes things a lot more worse because one, it drains people in the sense of things because William touched the bloody thing and that was a bad thing. And two, do you become extremely aggro and want to keep said rock, even though it's harmful to you?
I mean, I'm just giving us an easy win here. I mean, we could basically take over the company if you just. Again, it's
Oh.
an idea. Whatever. Move on. Listen,
But
you're thinking about challenging this guy. What's a challenge that he might be, or at
oh,
least make an attempt to win? Because if we do anything strength-wise, we would need Allison,
yeah.
or I guess, freaking Trevor on a good day. Because for some reason you
Depends.
decided to like flex on everyone with the gloves.
Hmm.
Not really flexing when it's, demon gloves. That's just
Shush, shush, Bard. Anyway,
um,
well,
that's
there's
some,
an idea. Trevor, you can just challenge him to a punching contest. Just do punchies with the gloves.
let me not kill someone.
Again, another idea. Whatever.
that's something we could think about in some
Hmm,
regard.
it's possible.
I mean, the one physical challenge that he lost to was a failed attempt of a sumo wrestling match.
So what? You want us to get fat and fight him in a sumo
No,
wrestling?
basically, their attempt was just pushing each other out of a ring. It was kind of like push your opponent off the circle type of deal. And that's it. Um,
I still think doing punchies and or doing that's
doing
me.
doing what?
Playing punchies, letting Trevor play punchies.
No.
Again, not exactly about to kill a person.
But would that be a lot more saner idea, at least?
Listen, I get I get the idea, and I think it's a good idea. I think being able to have the Badgers would be great. But again, we have to think of something that would be a good enough challenge to not only be able to win, but it would be good enough to where he would honor the deal and help us.
Yeah.
Besides, I don't think any of us here have any intention to play Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Yeah, and he doesn't count anything smart wise because the one time he lost for chess, he doesn't count that.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna do a tech roll, or not a tech roll, a tinker roll, to see if I've made any progress in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Let's see if I lose fingers. Poof. I've lost the fingers.
God,
Hey, it's the first time I'm using this roll.
that's fair enough.
I'll spit.
You've managed to dismantle it.
Cool.
You can now see all the parts that made up a broken penumbra gun,
Hmm.
or all the parts that remained of the broken penumbra gun laid out in front of you. Not sure how this helps.
You know, at least I got it apart.
Hmm.
Just kind of look at some of the pieces and just be like, this may be a lot harder than it looks. You know, time and effort. Don't laugh at me. I'm making progress here.
I mean, you are
Oh,
technically.
okay.
I don't see you two are doing anything. Okay, so we've gotten as far as if we challenge the Badgers, they might be able to owe us a favor to distract them long enough, distract the Weasels long enough to break into a building, or at least get them off Ted's back.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they would just buy the grocery store.
That would
That
make
actually,
things a lot more difficult for the rest of the town if they're.
well, I'm just, if, you know, here's my thought, is that if
We
the
don't
Badgers,
want to do things that would make things a lot more difficult on the town.
no, think of it this way. If the Badgers own the grocery store, they legally own the products within the grocery store. And they are legally allowed to say this company is no longer willing to buy, is no longer capable of buying products from our store because of this, this, and this from a legal loophole of a business standpoint. So the townspeople would still be able to buy stuff. It's just anybody that's affiliated with the Weasels can't buy stuff. I have a plan that makes sure that not only I don't get to break into a place, but it saves the townspeople. And you people are still questioning this.
I mean, it could work
If we
technically.
offer the idea and, you know, give it at that, that's like plan A. Plan B would offer a challenge.
Why? Why does it feel like the CEO is gonna say that's way too easy?
I mean, my other idea was, Trevor, how good are you at bass guitar?
I mean, yes.
Challenge him to a rock band off with you and your sister.
That would actually be interesting.
Trevor, you gotta rock the socks off of the Badger court. This is the plan. Nope, this is the plan now. I don't care about any other plan. I want to see him shred. Let's go.
I mean, fuck, it's tempting.
No, we're doing this. This isn't a temptation thing. You two are going up to the Badger's place and challenging
Can
him
we
to
do
a
it
shred
another
off.
day? Since we're busy doing this.
Somebody put it down in the notebook. They're challenging him to a
I'm
rock
I'm
off.
writing it. I'm taking out my journal. I'm writing it down. Don't worry.
Anyway,
I'm sorry for our craziness, Jacob.
he'd go back to rather go back to looking at the gun. Kelly, was there a blueprint for this somewhere that I can look at somewhere?
What was that?
Blueprint for the gun.
Kelly,
Ah.
yeah. Kelly, was there a blueprint for the gun somewhere, or do you
I
have it, or I'm sorry if I'm
I
bothering you.
can't remember if I saw a blueprint or not when we first came down here.
I'm going to assume it's not here, because from my understanding with how it all went down with this particular weapon, I'm assuming he didn't want to have the temptation to recreate it.
Yeah. I mean, in his journal he did kind of state like how bad it was.
Just, I know, and I don't like it any more than anyone else does. But I have a gut feeling we'll need this. Because after Mom, after what's happened before, I don't want to be caught, with our pants down. So
Yeah.
Riley would
I-
just turn back to his work.
Kelly walks up to him and to Riley and is just like, I understand. I do. But going in headfirst into scenarios we don't know much about, or doing things that could literally be the worst case scenario for us without a proper plan, could technically be a case of getting caught with our pants down.
I mean, yeah.
Riley would pause and just sit there.
Think about it.
I have. And what it's done is it's cost us a lot of resources and people that could be here if we just continually sat here and thought. We keep saying that we're gonna think of something.
Is that not what we're doing right now? Was that not what we were doing right now? We were thinking of a plan. Some sort of means to have a better idea of what to do.
It's not a means to an end anymore. I mean, is this what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives?
I don't know, life is fucking scary. Okay?
I get that. And he
I mean,
turn in his
literally-
chair and just look at the two of you. It's like, but what 13-year-old is fighting
14
mutant
now.
aliens? What young kid, what middle schoolers are fighting aliens and zombie animals and corporations? We should be, I don't know, playing music, going down to the beach. I don't know, things that normal kids would be doing.
Well, clearly we're not normal.
I realize this is a very deep moment. It's the alien who's bringing this up. What the fuck? Alright, you can continue.
Yeah.
I just in case that no one else noticed that.
I was gonna say, out of all the people, the hybrid's bringing this up.
Yeah, it's just Kelly's gonna be like, you say that.
Listen, I'm not claiming to have a normal life either.
Just think what
Nothing.
you're just think what you're saying for a moment.
But think where I've come from. I don't talk about it as much as anybody else. It's not exactly. It's like it's spring break here, but I don't know anything else besides this. My mom told me jack squat about my people, if they even are my people at this point. You guys have normal lives ahead of you once you get out of school. You guys have lives. Making families or doing your own thing, going on tour.
Truthfully,
And you're doing this.
I'm kind of sitting here, probably because I've been hanging around Mr. Henderson too long. I'm at a point where it's like, what is normalcy? In the sense of things. Everybody has their own weird thing about their life. No one's gonna be perfect. No one's gonna have a normal life, technically. Bullshit's gonna happen, one way or the other. Lady Luck's gonna go, you know what, you're gonna have a case of misfortune today. Whether or not you like it or not.
Yeah, but case of misfortune is, oh, I spilled juice all over my shirt, or I didn't get my homework assignment. It's not the constant threat of being eaten, killed, or possibly being thrown into another body. No offense. Into another body, never having the hope of being normal ever again. Again, I probably shouldn't be saying this. My entire life has been the consistency of At any point in time, my mother could come and bust into the basement of my room and try to eat me. But at this point, is this really what we want to do for the rest of our lives? Or do we want to make sure that it doesn't happen again? He just set a hand on his desk because he was clenching the table with white knuckles. All I'm saying is that if we're going to make a plan, we should do it quick and we should do it right. Because if we don't, it's not us who are going to get hurt. It's anybody else in the town that's going to get hurt. There are people we are basically the only things keeping the town from being utterly annihilated by whatever's trying to get in. We barely scratched the surface with Energizer battery over here. Before, the Brainiac got into his body. Again, no offense. If we're going up against something like that, or bigger, we should at least be prepared, which is why I'm doing this. And he holds, like, bits of the gun. I know, it sucks. I hate it too. I don't want to have to put this thing together. But at this point, it's this, or we keep going at it with
Isn't
crazy
this the
demon...
reason why Ted's dad disappeared in the first place? Because he thought he could play superhero. Because he think he could do everything.
This isn't the point of playing superhero. This isn't our choice anymore. It was never I'm going to bring aliens in because I want to play superhero. It's, there are aliens in here, and we need to do
It wasn't his
something.
choice either! Literally, his case was he found material, and he liked it. It caused him to try getting more material so he could study it more. And then this shit happened.
And it's on our shoulders now. We need to do something. This is our responsibility now. We can't exactly, like you said it yourself back then. If we try to go to anyone else about this, they'll think we're being kids and we're making up stories.
Yes. Unless
Nobody
we
else
show some extreme fucking proof. Which,
yeah,
good lord, they're gonna freak out if we do.
exactly.
Think about it.
No matter how many ways we spin this is our job now. And we should be prepared. No knife, no demon gloves, no telepathic communication, and no hybrid-esque looking space knives are going to help us in this situation all the way through.
I don't even know what I have.
I don't know
if that was just a one-time thing in the sense of an oddity or not. Truthfully, I thought the whole drawing random shit on the fact that I was spacing out was just something like brain damage or something like an accident that occurred. I was a kid and I don't even remember. Something along the lines of that. But seeing how they're apparently telling the fucking future?
It's been helpful this far. So, gift or not, it has been helpful. All I'm saying is back to my point. Whether we liked it or not, we've gotten into a war with a bunch of aliens.
How do you know if it's even a war? Or just a case of just a series of unfortunate effects?
Well, it's going to be a war if we don't do anything about it, from what it looks like.
Who are we fighting?
I guess aliens, to a certain, whether they're organized or not.
I mean, are you expecting to face every single one of them with hostility?
I mean, you guys did kill my mother.
She was technically after a person.
Listen, besides myself, and I'm not even sure if I count fully for one side or the other at this point.
I would have been down with talking to her. I would have been down in just saying that. But the situation that night.
It wasn't perfect, and she was already far too gone to be able to do anything with. But at this point, I have yet to see something that hasn't tried to kill us or attack us that wasn't part of this planet. And until something does, I'm gonna follow my gut.
Okay. I'm gonna take a breather.
Get some air. I'll work on this. Oh, I'm gonna roll another tinker check if I'm able to. Respawn.
Yeah, go ahead. You figured out how to put it back together.
Back into its
No.
broken state.
Yeah, not fixed, but you've now figured out how to both dismantle and re-put together all of its parts, even the ones that are broken. Which is still a good ways to learning how something works.
Kelly kind of. William, can I go upstairs? Take a breather for a little bit.
He gets up out of the chairs and he's like, "Sure, I need a smoke anyways." He goes and gets on the platform and waits for you.
Kelly joins.
We'll go ahead and push the button, and the two of you will ascend back up to ground level. He'll open the big old car wash door so you can step outside, and he'll head out as well.
Yeah. Kelly just will go to the side of the car wash and kind of just lean against it, sitting down on the ground.
He kind of just leans on the side of the car wash. You know, it's not just you guys.
Yeah, I know.
Me and Dad, Scruffy probably would help if we asked. I mean, he doesn't ask too many questions. We just gotta tell him to do something, and he will
I mean,
probably
we
do
already
it.
figured that out, seeing how he dealt with a parasitic, deer, wolf. Good lord, there's still that badger out there. Which, Scruffy was kind enough to, bring over here and, burn.
Hmm.
Kelly takes out her journal again and starts doodling and drawing. It just... And I'm sure Mr. Henderson would be down on helping us as well.
Yeah. I mean, hey, let's do a quick little head count. We got yourself. You got Riley and Trevor, of course, and Allison. You got myself and my dad, and of course Scruffy, to some extent. You got Mr. Henderson. You got James. I could probably rope in the O'Malley brothers and Walsh if you guys need. Charlie.
They're gonna be like mind blown.
Well, as I said, I can rope them into things, but you know, we might need to tell them a few things depending on what it is we want them to do.
Yeah.
But we could probably get them to help out somewhat.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, you guys figured out how to use the shadow box to your advantage. So if there's everything you guys can't fight that wants a fight, you can lead them there. That'll hopefully take care of them.
Sadly, though, that was with Riley's mom first time around.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do about these things.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta remember why you're doing them.
Yeah.
I've been running this whole trying to solve the town's mystery thing for longer than you guys, and it was all for the purpose of trying to, you know, at the very least get my dad back. I didn't much care about the rest, though I did find out quite a bit.
What have you stumbled upon with the craziness within this town?
Well, I mean, back when I was first investigating, it wasn't nearly this bad as you guys have figured. Like,
Really?
sure, crazy mad scientist missing, my dad, his assistant, also missing shortly after. The Weasel Company was still, I mean, it was as bad as it is now back then, but it had just quieted down now that he'd gone missing. Probably, because CO had left around then.
Yeah.
Henderson was still nuts. I figured he might have something to do with everything, but the more I investigated, the more I found that he was just kind of nuts. No, actually connected.
Yeah,
Which was
that's
all,
Henderson for ya.
yeah, which of course, not being connected to anything makes him still suspicious, but not really worth spending 2 whole days staking out his house for.
What? you s- you spent 2 whole days staking out his house.
Yeah, to try and see if there's, try and find out why it changes so often, and if he's connected to any of the strangeness around
He's
town beyond just being
okay.
strange himself.
He's a rich as fuck artist, and
Yeah,
he
no,
just wastes.
I figured that out.
Yeah, he just wastes his money on like random stuff. He even
Yeah,
has an armor stand that produces hot cocoa.
I'll admit I didn't know about that one. I haven't exactly been inside the place.
I've been in it multiple times.
Fair enough.
He's actually someone I go to a lot, talk and such. So that's probably why all the weird stuff that's been going on hasn't been as bad with me, because I'm already kind of used to the weirdness, you could say.
Fair enough. And I mean, you guys got plenty of allies and plenty of people willing to help you if you reach out to them. It's not just you. And if you don't have the right equipment, someone around here, well, you'd be surprised what an extra pair of hands could do, and either in the way of just helping out or making you the equipment you need.
Yeah.
I mean, Dad's still getting used to that new monstrous body, but he still knows his way around those old contraptions down there. You guys need something.
Yeah.
And other than that, I mean, you guys' families might not believe you if you told them about all the stuff you've run into, but who knows?
Yeah.
If you ask nicely, they might still, humor you. They might not
Yeah.
realize how important what they're doing is, whatever it is you've asked them to do, but they might do it anyways, just because they care about you.
Yeah. I'm just hoping we encounter things that aren't as hostile as the last few things we've encountered.
Hmm.
Because we literally have encountered Riley's mom, which, that didn't end too well, and you overheard the conversation a little bit there.
Yeah.
There's what happened with your dad.
Yeah.
And a few weeks ago, we literally had to help James out with this odd, like, zombified animals situation. With, like, these parasites that were basically keeping the animals alive to a certain degree, but they were kind of controlling them to a bad degree.
Wish I had an answer for you, but some of these things are the sorts you got to go find your own answers for. And I mean, it's not like I've run into them before.
Yeah. So all this crazy stuff that is just happening recently, then you haven't experienced any oddities
I mean,
yourself?
the shadow boxer's been around a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Hmm?
I'm thinking on the whole. You're saying, what was that about the animals?
Well, they were kind of, in a sense, possessed, of sorts. Their
Moving all
cartilage,
weird like, kind of.
yeah, all weird, like, their cartilage was kind of hollow. You were able to see some sort of red tendril coming, in it. Or if you cut them open in a bleeding fashion, you would see some red tendrils coming out of the wounds.
There was I didn't get much into it myself back then, but I read the reports. Uh, back then, back when Ted's dad and my dad disappeared, and the Weasel Company was just as bad back then as it is now. There was a strangely high number of reports of animals with rabies. He seems lost in thought at the moment after saying that.
These animals were kind of walking funny. Seemed like they weren't able to use their feet properly well, with their jaws hanging open, and they were kind of lingering towards us a lot of the time.
Just acting aggressive.
Mm, Acting as if they were in pain at first, but if you got too close, then they would get aggressive.
The kind of thing that maybe someone back then might have mistaken for rabies.
Maybe, yeah.
Around the same time, the Weasel CEO was in town again. It might be just a hunch, but I'm wondering if that CEO has something to do with it.
Most likely, if you're bringing this up.
I think I found myself something to do.
Hmm?
Well, I'm gonna go keep eyes on the man. Much as it, makes my skin crawl.
Be careful, though.
I will.
We don't know much with him in general, and if he has connection to what's happening in the woods, that's not a good sign.
Hmm.
God, we still need to find that stupid badger.
Yeah, can't be good to let any of them roaming.
Yeah, there's a few parts from the incident a few weeks back. Badger got punted. At one point, we don't know where that went. And Riley apparently kicked a head and a flag into the forest as well.
Hmm.
Extremely worried about those.
Well,
So,
it is freezing out. Well, not necessarily freezing, but still cold. They'd need to survive through the cold somehow. Normally, a body
was it
has, the circulatory system to
was
pump
it
blood through it.
normally was it around winter time when this last happened?
Nah,
No?
it was fall or so, and by
Still,
around the time winter hit, that's when it stopped. Maybe they don't like the cold much.
or the heat.
Hmm.
Probably a mixture between the two. Extreme temperatures.
I mean, yeah, as far as I know, there ain't any creature out there that doesn't have a preferred temperate zone. Even bacteria got a specific temperature they like being at. No, not too high, not too low.
Yeah, because Scruffy burnt some some animals a few weeks ago with the thing, and they didn't get back up again afterwards.
Hmm.
So it could be easily just both extreme heat and extreme cold. That could also explain why the animals are alive as well, because they were alive.
They have to keep them alive for the warmth.
Mhm.
Hmm. Well, that probably rules out those limbs as being much of an issue.
The badger, on the other hand, that's still somewhere.
If it's still kicking, then yeah, it might be a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Cause when we face off with the animals, they were still they were making sounds that they were in pain and so forth. So, and so we figured that they're still alive to a certain degree. It's just something else is in their bodies possessing, just controlling them.
Hmm. Well, I don't know if I got any more immediate thoughts I ain't already voiced.
Hmm.
Probably help Dad finish up by the end of the day, and then starting tomorrow, I'm gonna go find that CEO and make sure we know what he's up to.
Okay.
I didn't want to get near him in case he tried to follow me and find Dad, but at this point, I get the feeling that there ain't much avoiding him.
Yeah. And Kelly's just doodling still.
What you drawing?
Just doodling. It's something that just helped me relax a little bit.
Fair enough. He reaches into his coat and pulls out a bag of gummy worms that's got like a little clip on it to keep it sealed. He opens it and takes gummy worm out and chews on it.
Yeah, I normally kind of draw to try doing a little bit stressfully, if you could say.
Fair enough. I mean, there's plenty of stress to go around. I mean, a lot of the kids back at school think I took up smoking because it looked cool.
Mm. I kind of. I've always kind of been drawing due to the fact that kind of an oddity in a sense of things in this
That's
town.
fair. We all got
So,
our own ways of doing things.
well, it's not just that. It just I always had a hard time making friends.
Hmm.
Cause Kelly points at her face.
I mean, it's a bit weird, but you've clearly managed to already make a few friends, and
That's
as
just
bad
more
as things are,
recently.
it seems. Well, yeah.
I mean, previously it was only the art teacher as my friend.
Well, I mean,
And the fact that I had episodic episodes of me spacing out and drawing weird stuff did not help things.
hmm.
Which apparently can tell the future a bit.
What you drawn recently?
Kelly goes back into her journal a little bit because this was when she drew in her journal. It was a white tree with red vines wrapped around it and a purple fruit hanging off of it.
Hmm.
All the other plant life seemed to avoid it. And that was the most recent one.
Hmm. And there ain't any snow in it, is there?
No.
Well, I suppose if something like that shows up in the spring, I'll have plenty of reason to believe that you're right on that whole future telling thing.
Well,
Not that I don't believe you, it's just proof.
Kelly goes back in her pages and shows the image of William's dad currently.
Alright, fair enough.
This was one of the reasons I was freaking out during the one day.
Hmm.
When we were off in the woods. When we encountered your dad first time around with the mountain pile of slugs.
Hmm.
Let's see. I've drawn a hurricane, which, gee, finding out that the boars look like small storms, hurricanes, typhoon type of deals. Yeah, that's awkward in its own right. A demon with soft hands, which turns out to be the gloves Trevor has. Yeah, that they don't allow me to wear those gloves anymore.
Hmm.
There's a good chance of possession with them.
No, that's fair.
There's a few other ones that haven't hit the market. Let's see. There's from my memory serves, there's a one with a smiling man with a knife in his chest. A field of what looks like to be fur. And a sort of open door with a ball of eyes, teeth, and hands peering from behind it. And those are ones that I've drawn in the past from
I guess
my
we'll
blank
see
out.
then.
Yeah, from my blank out episodes. But yeah, yeah. If you happen to spot a like oddly white tree with red vines and a purple fruit with all plant life avoiding it, best to avoid it yourself, type of deal. Maybe there's probably a good reason why.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. But there's also the recent stuff that's been kind of like caused me to go, what the dickens? Why? Which is with your dad. What happened with your dad previously? The whole possession stuff.
I mean, no one I know can do that. Then again, I ain't seen anyone else try it.
I don't know either, and it was straight weird.
Yeah.
I just it's weird getting locked up in your own head. It feels like you're not able to do anything. You're just kind of trapped in a box with a movie theater. Like a movie playing. And that's it. You're not able to have people hear you. You're unable to do the actions that you normally do. And you're just sitting and watching. If you're lucky, you can actually talk to the thing possessing you. But I found out for the gloves, that's not always a guarantee. Yeah, when I tried talking to my own head when I got possessed by the gloves, I got a response of hatred, murder, and rampage.
Yeah, might be best to leave those alone. But I mean, if they it's a dire need,
Yeah,
you gotta use what you got.
truthfully, I'm a little bit worried on the fact that how Riley's handling things. I mean, seeing how we only dealt with quote-unquote hostile things so far. He's fearing that that's what we're gonna be continuing to deal with. Is just hostile things left and right.
I mean, if we're going on the theory that all this stuff, is alien, was brought from somewhere else somehow. I mean, if you suddenly found yourself in a web, you'd struggle.
Yeah.
Suddenly found yourself somewhere completely new that you didn't recognize, didn't seem at all similar to what you were used to.
Yeah.
You'd assume everything's hostile. You'd freak out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, who knows, like, you're worried about what the environment you found yourself in is going to do to you, but you don't exactly stop to consider what you're doing to the environment that you've been dropped in.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you end up in a place that'll tear you apart without even really thinking about it. Sometimes you end up in a place that, without you even realizing it, you're ripping it apart,
Yeah.
potentially.
And that was the case, technically. Because with your dad, what I found out when I did kind of hook up to the chair in you know where, what I found out was basically they got curious about this planet because a cow happened to show up on their planet.
Huh.
Yeah. And they ate it and found it delicious, so they sent a scout over here of sorts.
I mean, I guess that's one way to trigger an alien invasion.
Yeah, the species was highly carnivore related.
Hmm.
But yeah. So that's what I found out on how they got here.
Hmm.
It it was interesting nonetheless. Um
Hmm.
but yeah, I know there's different scenarios, there's different things that could possibly happen. On like if these things are actually scared or not and such like that. But we also got to think a little bit on the factor of how long have they been here?
Yeah.
How
Because
long have
it seems like some of these things, have been around since, the guy originally disappeared back when I first started.
yeah.
But it seems like others, are more recent. And it's not
So
as though it's like
so
lingering
far
effects.
we've only encountered the old stuff with my group.
Well,
And
I mean,
we're just picking it up right now.
I
Cuz
mean, some of the things you guys have run into weren't around back then.
let's see, Eleanor Rigby was actually around
Yeah.
back then. Technically, so has Big Baddie, but no one noticed. Oh, I mean, your dad technically now, but no one
Yeah.
noticed. But seeing how the ship's buried underneath Earth, that's apparently been around for a long while. It's just the species are so forgetful that we managed to luck out on the fact that it forgot where the ship was.
Yeah.
Um, Shadowboxer been around for a while. Um, what we're with the animals and possibly the Weasel CEO. That's been around for a while technically.
Hmm.
All these things have been kind of in a case of they've been here for a while. Yes, we're recently facing them and such like that, but technically they've been around for a while.
Hmm.
There hasn't been anything really on the quote unquote new side.
Hmm. I mean, the buffalo thing, the mist.
The mist that was around when you were investigating stuff?
No? And as I was saying, it's not like there's been a lingering, like, new thing showing up every month or so since the last time this happened. Everything that's currently strange about this town that might be involved either showed up back then and is starting to become more active, it seems, or showed up recently. There was no in between. Something's going on.
That
Has to be.
is, yeah, that's extremely strange then. if that's the case. Because I would think there would be some buildup. Like, I would expect you hearing some stuff. Or finding out some things because you're a really nosy kid.
Yeah, but it seems like most people just don't notice these things. People just stay in the town, live their lives, don't go looking for trouble.
It's not like we wanted to try finding trouble in the first place. Literally, it kind of started with your dad trying to find uh, Ted's dad, and he was using basically the ground as an energy source to try boosting his signal to find him, which caused electric currents to go through the ground.
Yeah. I mean, who really knows? Let's
So,
go ahead. Let's give the others a minute. I keep remembering that we should probably switch back to them, and we keep getting wrapped up in the conversation again.
sorry.
I'm sorry, you guys.
It's
Huh?
fine.
What? Oh, okay.
Me and Kuma were both spacing out.
I'm
Fine.
sorry.
Fuck. I'm just going to attempt to fucking tinker again.
Alright.
Bob. Nope.
Well, I'll say this much. You figured out how to, take it apart, put it back together. This time around, you've managed to only put together the parts that aren't broken. So it's now just missing the parts that you have set to the side that are broken.
Alright, cool.
So again, progress, not incredible progress, but it's a step closer. You managed to build it, put it back together in a way that excludes all the broken parts.
Alright, how many broken parts am I looking like? Am I a few? Like half of the weapon? Like I'm assuming I'm going to have to investigate to figure that out.
The container for the power source, as well as the power source, is of course busted and missing, along with a good bit of what was probably important circuitry and, essentially not a motherboard, but important circuits and systems.
Okay,
But the main chassis for the most part is intact.
cool.
You know,
I'm gonna just set that aside. Scoop up most of the bits. Walk over.
it's just missing the power source and the part that tells it what it's doing.
Yeah. So I'll hold up, I guess, the container up to the big lizard battery man. I'd be like, okay, so power source container, bonk, and the brain is also bonk. Do you have a
He
firm
he
belief?
looks over.
Yeah. Do you have a firm belief that there are any of these two items somewhere in this bat cave thing?
He kind of scratches his chin and turns away from his desk, and then just reaches way over a few shelves, grabs something, lifts it up, brings it back, and sets it down on his table. And you can hear, him doing a little bit of work on it, and then he reaches his hand down and hands you, a canister, basically.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I mean, when we found out about the rocks and how they're a power source, we started attaching them to everything. A lot of the stuff in here was never actually powered because it was kind of just, when you figure out you can generate unlimited power, you start figuring out how to make every single toaster and other home appliance run on this stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So a lot of the stuff in here was designed to be powered by those rocks and then never actually put into use. So we got spare canisters. As for the, the actual circuitry and smart parts of the gun, I don't know if I can recreate that.
No, I figured as much, so I may need to.
And even then, you got to be sure if you want this thing. Like, we've seen what happens, and as far as we know, there's no coming back.
Riley would
You
look
do
down.
that to something or someone, and that's permanent, pretty much.
Riley would look at the canister and then look down.
You're still gonna need to collect a rock as well, but
Mhm.
it's a step closer, and the best I can do for you at the moment.
Where'd you find these damn things anyway? The rocks.
We had essentially a metal detector that used one of them to find more of them.
Yeah, I know. I've found that. I think Kelly still has it, but they're
Yeah,
just.
we spent you know, weeks just walking through the forest, finding them, putting them in a bucket.
Mhm.
It wasn't easy and it wasn't quick. Sadly, these things take a lot of time and effort.
No, I figured as much.
Oh, and make sure to wear proper
Yeah,
glasses and gloves and such. Obviously, it's not safe.
I haven't come in contact with these particular pebbles and stones of magic. The other guys, the guys did, but I'm assuming it will probably have the same effect on me as it did them. So I'll
And
leave
yeah,
it.
I'd recommend some welder's equipment, mask and gloves and all that.
Hmm.
We have some. We have one spare set, I think.
I won't take that from you. I should have some winter gear that I might be able to wear that should work just as well. And I'll wear my beanie over my eyes. It
Alright,
sounds stupid, but it's better than nothing.
suit
Besides,
yourself.
it's better that we keep that stuff here. I don't think it'll be safe for anybody if they see some random kid running around with welder's gear on. They'll probably make stories, and the last thing I need right now is to become some sort of anomalous being running around.
I suppose you have a point. He says, as a giant electric monster, kind of just sitting there,
No offense. It is what it is.
none taken.
You get used to it, I can assure you.
I mean, I suppose, yeah.
You
Kind of
walk
just
around.
staying down here.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I've cooped myself up in a basement for long periods of time, and I can't speak on behalf of Trevor, but I'm assuming jam sessions don't, you know, exactly go outside and have you breathing in fresh air, Trevor.
It has been a while since I've been outside.
You know, I don't think Kelly or any other or myself wouldn't mind, late night walks if you really want to go outside, or even I don't even, spending time with your son.
I mean, I suppose maybe once this Weasel's business is over with and it feels slightly safer out there, me and him can talk about, I don't know, going down to the schoolyard in the dead of night and throwing a ball around or something.
There you go. That's the can-do attitude. Besides,
Maybe I can finally teach him how to ride a bike.
did you ever expect this from your son?
For him to come looking as hard as he did,
Yeah.
to be
He's
honest, it hadn't really crossed my mind. I didn't think I was going to be missing.
if you think about it, if it was him instead of you in your position, would you have done it?
All the hard work and effort that went into, you know, putting me into this monster and otherwise trying to fix my situation. Yeah, I probably would have.
I mean,
I just wouldn't have expected him to. Like, it's one thing to sit back and look at a picture of your kid and think about, yeah, they're a smart kid. They're probably going to be a big scientist someday, you know, explore space, invent something incredible. Who knows? Then it's another thing to find yourself locked in a mental prison for years, and then it's your son and a few of his friends who figure out how to fix you and bring you back. Like,
just
it's one thing
remember,
to acknowledge that your kid's smart. It's another to actually see it happen and see it happening for you.
just remember two things. One, about three of us got electrocuted doing so and making sure that you had a second chance. And two, you've been given that second chance. I don't know how many years you got or how much body. I'm assuming a lot. You're probably practically immortal at this point, but you've been given that second chance. I wouldn't waste it down here. Not waste it. You get what don't
You
spend.
you you don't have to convince me. I've already said.
Yeah.
If we can get the weasel situation sorted out so they ain't hunting for anything and everything, I'll take him down to the schoolyard or maybe just out into the woods where we're less likely to get spotted, and we'll have some father-son bonding out in the nature, and yeah, I'll see about it.
There you go. Honestly, you take the canister and walk back, and I guess do his best to add it to the frame. Awesome
enough.
gun.
That would be another tinker roll to attach it to the rest of the thing.
I am inadequate.
It's going to take you a little bit to,
Yeah.
because you dismantle and put this thing back together with a slightly differently sized and a broken one, but now you have a, again, slightly differently sized and working one, so it's going to take you a little bit to figure it out, but you will. Like, you've already figured out enough about this gun that it's not going to be too much trouble.
Yeah. Trevor, can you give me a hand here? I'm trying to get the new canister on it, and it's not exactly working with me.
Trevor,
Help.
roll.
Help me put soda can on space gun, please.
Okay, I guess. I'm not good at this shit.
Just do what you can. You're gonna probably do anything better than I would have.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure
Hey,
about that?
How many monkeys is it gonna take to put this fucking space gun together?
Too many.
Trevor's assistance makes things more confusing and makes it take even longer because you do have to kind of walk him through everything you've already figured out.
Yeah, he's sitting there
Brainiac.
like, what gun?
I need you to help me put this thing together. Okay. What thing? This thing. What is it? This is what it is. How do we put the thing in there? Well, I mean, we take it apart like this. Okay, but
Who's
what's
on
that
first?
Part? But what's that part?
Literally, it's that conversation. It's that whole. It's the fucking who's on first shit.
Yeah.
You know what? Just what time is it? Do you have a watch on? Who's got a clock in here?
Yes.
Trevor, I'm going to slap you.
Trust me, I was gonna head upstairs, but the elevator's already up, so we're fucked.
Isn't there a button down? Just call the elevator back down.
Is there an over there? I didn't see one.
Look for one.
Fuck this shit. I'm going upstairs. At least try to.
Get upstairs. I'll finagle with this thing. I still need components, and I'll probably head to
Have
the
fun
hardware
with your
store.
fucking soda shooting space gun. I'm going upstairs.
Okay, go upstairs.
Is there actually a button down there to call the elevator?
There's a button to basically sound a little alarm. Not like an alarm, but like you push a button, it makes a little alert noise at the top, and then someone has to bring it down to you.
Push.
There's no button to like move it that isn't on it, you know?
Push.
Actually,
Alright, so Kelly and William would both hear the little beep of it saying that someone would like the elevator to come down to pick them up.
Trevor, I should probably go with you. I'll probably need to head to the hardware store at some point in time to grab circuits, I guess.
William re-clips his bag of sour gummy worms and stows it back in his coat. It's like, well, I'm gonna go see what they need.
I can stay here for a few.
Alright.
Few moments more.
William will go ahead and head inside the car wash and have the platform descend till eventually it reaches the bottom.
Kelly just continues drawing.
Riley and Trevor, you can both see as the platform comes down and then rests into the floor with William standing on it holding the button.
Just hops onto the platform. It's like, alright.
Welcome. We're well, at least I need to go on a shopping trip, but I think we're most likely done here for today. Tomorrow,
Yeah.
maybe.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it is getting a bit late.
Mhm.
It's probably best you lot went home and had dinner, slept, checked with your families and such. He starts sending the platform back up with the three of you on it.
Yeah, sure.
And eventually get to the top and he'd open up the car wash door so you guys could step out.
Kelly kind of waves.
We made progress. Not too much, but the
Uh,
frame's ready, and I got a new container for power
so,
source.
me and William kind of chatted a little bit. There's a possibility the animals are connected to the CEO guy for weasels.
There's a possibility. Coincidence is coincidence, but who knows?
Yeah, who
With
knows?
this town, there's no
How does
such
that even
thing.
exist?
Yeah.
Uh,
with this-
William pointed out that there was a series of incidents reported of rabies-filled animals the last time the CEO guy was around.
Yeah, I can see them mistaking zombies for rabies.
Yeah, and with this town, there's no such thing as a coincidence. There's gonna be something connecting something.
Yeah.
I'm assuming our friend William here will be, and he points to William, you'll be, I guess, espionage, spy, eyeball, lookout.
I'm gonna
Or-
spend the last bit of today with my dad, and then starting tomorrow, I'm gonna be full time keeping an eye on him.
You do that.
Yeah, because since we kind of thought that up, we kind of went, oh, maybe keep an eye on the dude could help out in a big sense. Kelly gets up.
There you go.
Also, William also shared the fact that we actually do have a lot of folks that might be willing to help in this sense of things.
Are we
Uh,
really wanting to put any more lives at risk for this?
William kind of looks at Riley. Consider for a moment that most of us are already at risk, whether we know it or not.
Your point is correct. I'm just saying, bunch of kids and a few adults that believe us going up against the unknown, whatever it may be.
I mean, it sounds like you have a lot better chance with only 4 of you.
Yeah, well, knowing Allison and knowing Trevor, it's 2. No. No, yeah. I'm just trying to make sure nobody gets hurt, and maybe that's me being me, but it's nothing. It's whatever, I guess. Well,
also, we kind of figured out that um there has not been any between point of weird stuff popping in. The only times have with all this stuff popping is now and back when the incident first happened with Ted's dad. Something's causing these things to actually start popping in again. Pop into motion and so forth.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's not all gonna happen in one day, so
Fair enough.
let's get home. Well, you guys get home.
Oh, how late is it? Respawn.
You guys did spend most of your day with all this, I'd say.
Is it near
Time
nighttime?
flies when you're talking, potential gossip and mysteries, apparently.
Is it near nighttime?
The sun is starting to set. Like, the very bottom of it is starting to touch the horizon, kind of.
Actually, Trevor. Trevor.
Sure. Oh, no.
Billie Eilish,
Trevor.
Trevor.
Hannah Montana. Fuck. There you go.
Did
Yes, hello.
Okay,
is.
Trevor.
Hmm.
Seeing how it's near nighttime, do you want to try the thing with the gloves? With the shadow boxer?
Yes.
Okay. We can just easily wait by the light.
Okay.
So you guys are heading over to the street light?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright.
You following us, Riley?
You kind of look towards the light, unsure, but then sudden, flashbacks, and then, I guess, why not?
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Agreed.
Come on.
So, after walking along, the sun would slowly continue to set. Eventually, it would get dark enough out that the street lights would start to switch. You guys would, as you get closer, see the familiar singular streetlight that does flicker a little. And of course, the red glow and the shadowy figure underneath it.
Okay. So let's see what would happen.
Agreed.
That is giving the gloves to the boxer.
You just need to make contact, I would think.
But yes, explain to me what you're going to do. The shadow boxer's standing there, just kind of getting stretched and limber and starting to get into the usual bouncing back and forth steps of a boxer. Gloves up.
Mm.
Oh, fists up, anyways.
Take the gloves off and just toss them at her.
I
Alright.
mean,
Like at her or near her?
Like at her, like he's trying to toss them to her for her to catch.
Trying to think. I'm trying to think if I want to give you like a roll for this or.
I mean, he's physically throwing and aiming. I don't think. I know in regular D&D
I
that
mean,
requires
I
a
mean,
throw.
when I had to toss my journal, you had me do a force roll.
Got a
True,
point.
true. Go ahead and give us a force roll. Just it doesn't like not to throw it strongly, but you know, just to physics. The right amount of force in the right direction and such. You give a light underhanded toss. She seems to move out of the way though, and they just kind of land on the ground.
Well, okay then. This is not going to be.
And that is in the dead center of the light. Uh,
Well, genius, you're getting them now. Go on.
You're the one who threw him. You go get him.
Going to attempt to approach the gloves, avoiding the boxer.
You're just gonna slowly approach.
Yes.
All right,
Kelly brings out the snacks she got this morning. Want
fair
one,
enough.
Riley?
No, I want to see this.
No
These are
snacks.
snacks.
Only watching.
Oh, no, I'm good.
No
Okay.
snacking, only watching.
Okay.
All right. So, as you get 1 foot fully within the light, the shadow boxer would turn to face you, still in stance and still kind of, bouncing.
Actually, Kelly stands up. See how one of us to be a distraction while you go running and grabbing the gloves?
If you guys want to, sure. Not going to request it, but sure.
Okay. Kelly's gonna go on the other side and also step into the light. See what response does that give.
All right, the shadow boxer seems to pivot a little. So they're now, one of you's now to the left, one of you's now to the right,
Okay.
and then back up a little so you're not on completely opposite sides.
Okay.
Trying to keep you both in field of view.
Okay.
I'm gonna just be casual about this and just go for the gloves. Like,
Kelly's gonna just stand and
All right.
just barely enough in the light so she triggers the boxer, but not too far in where the thing would probably easily hit her.
So Trevor,
mhm.
as you get closer to the gloves, you do also get closer to the shadow boxer. And the closer you get to her, the more she seems to turn her attention to you.
Mhm.
The
Want
gloves
me-
are about 3 feet from her. How far would you say you are from the gloves currently?
Uh,
No, 2 to 3 feet.
I'd say like maybe like similar distance because he's trying to like give her a. He's trying to keep distance from her and like make it clear he's going for the gloves, not her.
All right. You continue to creep towards him.
Yeah.
All right. Give me. How about an empathize roll, real quick?
Nope.
Kid Kelly?
Kelly, you go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Kelly, you notice as the Shadowboxer slows down the bouncing and is still for a moment and tenses, and you have a moment to warn Trevor.
Trevor, back.
He just fucking backpedals.
Yeah, the boxer does a quick lunge forward and tries to throw a punch at you. But yeah, you were warned in time and were able to back away, but she's now between you and the gloves. And you were also kind of scrambling back.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do something risky. How far is the boxer in and gloves now?
So, Trevor and the boxer and the gloves are all equal distances apart, like in a straight line.
Okay.
Like only a foot or so between each of them. Maybe like a foot and a half at most.
Trevor, do you think you can kite the boxer away from the gloves?
Sure.
Trevor, roll move. You're booking it. You're
He was Benny Hill theme.
Kelly's gonna back off the light just enough so that the boxer doesn't trigger on her. So
Yeah.
its primary focus is on Trevor for the time being.
Alright, so Trevor, where are you running?
Mm. If anything, he's gonna stay in the light as best he can and just be playing keep away.
Alright. So you're running as best you can as the boxer kind of chases after you. Not like in a run or like a jog, but still trying to keep their stance up and keep up with you, which isn't
Okay.
easy.
So the boxer's good a distance away from the gloves then.
Yeah, if Trevor can, like Trevor's having to use pretty much all the space under the light to avoid still.
Okay.
But there's probably a window in there if you time it right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do this. Nope. I'm gonna get punched.
You run to grab the gloves and kind of slip and land next to him.
Okay.
I mean, not necessarily slip, but like, you like are trying to like move quickly and reach down to pick something up at the same time, so you kind of unbalance yourself and
So I landed on top of the gloves then, in that case.
little bit, yeah.
Kelly proceeds to grab the gloves still.
All right, you've grabbed the gloves. Trevor's
Okay.
still being chased around at the moment.
Again, cue Benny Hill theme.
Kelly stands up. Is the boxer still focused on Trevor?
Trevor, what are you doing?
Just running.
Still just running?
I was about to say, would he notice Kelly with the gloves?
Yes. It's not a huge area.
Just backs up out of the light and is like, Kelly, move.
All right. So you move out of the light.
Kelly,
The Shadowboxer's kind of looking where you went, but isn't chasing, and then slowly turns and looks at Kelly.
Kelly tries backing away.
All right. So you're backing away. As you back away, I assume slowly,
Yeah.
The Shadowboxer would approach as well at roughly the same speed, keeping the distance.
Great. Kelly would proceed to still back away until she gets out of the light.
Alright, you would eventually find yourself out of the light. The Shadow Boxer would seem to lose track of you and return back to the center of the light. Just kind of stand there in their stance, just kind of
Okay.
bobbing and weaving.
Kelly goes over back to Trevor, hands him the gloves. Want to try take two, maybe?
I mean, I might actually have to fucking use them this time, though. Fuck.
Sure. I mean, they shouldn't work if you don't. Like, remember,
Can
the
you really-
intention is actually hurting.
Yeah, can you really even hit someone who's already not half there?
I don't know.
We'll see. Okay. Kelly's gonna stay on the sidelines this time, just in case he needs help again.
Am I tagging in now? Is this
If you want.
Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
what, what's the plan now? Are we still doing distraction, or are you just going to walk up into her and bump Knuckles and be like, "Yo, what's up, homie?"
I mean, I could try that.
Well, we don't exactly have any other choice unless you plan on straight up fighting her.
I mean, okay.
Oh,
Let's see how well that works. Just gonna.
Just walk up to her if you think that's going to work, and that's plan A. Plan B is you walk up to her and I'll come in as a, I guess, a Xeno bug thing and, I don't know, distract it.
I can easily still distract her.
It is what it is.
She kind of goes after everybody in this case.
Yeah, well, I wanted to see what happens if it full on knew that I'm not exactly all human.
I guess I'll try the. Let's try the whole bump knuckles thing. I guess. Fuck it.
Alright.
Kelly
The
just
thing in,
watches.
it is a thing in certain fighting styles. That is an etiquette.
That's what I'm aiming for. Is if you bump Knuckles, maybe it's some sort of passive sign.
Alright. So, Trevor, you're putting the gloves on. You're going to walk out there?
Yes.
Alright. Trevor, you have the gloves on. You're at the edge of the light. Go on.
You get him, Tiger.
Going to slowly approach with like the one out in a sense of like, hey, what's up?
Alright, you have just one glove extended outwards
Yeah.
towards the Shadow Boxer. Shadow Boxer kind of turns to face you, still just kind of bouncing from foot to foot. You're a few feet out, but they don't seem to be moving towards you or away from you or anything.
Get in the light,
Just
nerd.
keep with the slow approach of the arm extended in like a fist bump kind of thing. Like, hey, what's up?
As you get within a few feet, they'd like you've seen how fast the Shadow Boxer punches.
Yeah. Remembers Allison getting floored by it.
So you can see her, putting a fist forward, but it's clearly not meant to be a punch, or it would be much faster.
Hmm.
But it's still not exactly slow.
So
And you feel pressure against your knuckles through the gloves as it makes contact, and then all three of you can watch as the Shadow Boxer seems to slowly almost dissipate and move into, I don't want to say get sucked into, but basically into the gloves.
Homie, you killed her.
The symbols on the back of the gloves, as well as the letters currently present, all seem to glow and shift.
Kelly runs up and see.
Just to make sure we're all on the same page, to my knowledge, the gloves are currently 4 letters in.
Yes.
Mhm.
Last I checked.
So you guys would see as the weird demonic symbol on the back of the gloves fades, and in its place 4 petals. Or, well, not actual petals, obviously, but the depiction of. And let me do some quick rolls to decide which letters you guys get. And of course, I'll have to redo any duplicates. Now we're good. So as you guys know, it goes across the knuckles of, the 8 main fingers, no thumbs.
Yeah.
So the letters you have in order are, I'll also type them out as well.
Mhm.
So you have blank, A, G, blank, and then of course on the other hand, R, O, blank, blank.
Well, that doesn't look like the normal white letters.
No, they also don't look demonic as shit now.
Can
That's
I see
probably
those
the point.
gloves? Can I see those gloves?
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
You hand the gloves to me?
Yes, passes glove to Kelly.
Kelly takes a look at the gloves. Each
Alright.
one.
Yes.
Kelly just takes a good look at the gloves a little bit more.
I mean, you can see that they still have the red circles on the backs of the hands, though now the demonic symbolism that normally appears has been replaced with a pair of 4 petals at the moment, with what looks like room for a few more.
Did Rosie just kick this dude out and just inhabit these gloves?
And also, as mentioned, along the knuckles of the glove are now new letters, and the old ones are gone.
Hmm.
Is this Rosie that you speak of?
Sits here actually having forgotten her full,
Is
her full name.
Rosie
is
O'Malley.
Rose her last name or first name?
Well,
As you may remember, because I'm pretty sure it's come up, to your guys' knowledge, the Shadow Boxer is and/or was Rose O'Malley, the nun who
yeah.
worked at the church, mother to Reggie and Ricky.
Okay then.
I know this one is probably Rose.
Yeah, it's something Rose.
AG. Blank AG blank.
Well, this is gonna bother me for the rest of the night.
We'll figure it out.
I
I
feel like that's a
mean-
good. I feel like that's a good cliffhanger for this session since we are at about time. Anyway.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was about to do something stupid.
To punch! Quick, we have to punch
no,
something to get more letters.
no, what happened the last time Kelly got possessed by the stupid gloves?
Yeah, I
Fucking
know you got possessed by a demon, but if
It was due to a certain action
yeah,
Yeah.
or a certain phrase.
I think you said the name Asmodeus.
No, it was taking
Nope.
off the gloves.
Yeah, that thing.
It was a
Oh yeah.
saying.
Speaking of which, Trevor's still wearing them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to take off
Trevor.
the gloves?
Not yet.
Cliffhanger. Yeah,
Not yet.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do
All
it.
right. Let's go
Next.
over. Let's go over the questions, sign experience, and then of course you guys are free to head out for whatever else
Hello.
you have for today.
Yeah.
Whatever's left of the day, anyways.
Yeah.
So
Huh, you think
Yeah.
I spend the day? I spend it in the
make
night.
sure you have your sheets open so you can keep track. Make sure that if you have.
I normally
5
have
days, you
like
spend them
the
as
sheet
such.
open.
That's
There you
fair.
go.
But yes. Be prepared to gain and spend experience points. Here we go.
Hmm?
Did you participate in the session?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. Go ahead and give each of you 1. Have you been in trouble because of your problem or your relationships?
No.
No.
Today was kind of relaxed, so no.
Yeah.
Did you use or struggle with your pride?
No.
Yeah.
I would say you did, Kuma, because yours is still quick learner, I believe, and you did figure out how to
The gun.
yeah, you put it together and took it apart pretty well. Did you put yourself at risk for the other kids?
No.
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 You two did.
No. Yeah. You two.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
Shadow
shadow boxer.
Let's go poke the bear that is the shadow boxer real quick.
Yeah, and it just poof gone.
It worked. You guys have solved. Well, I mean, you haven't necessarily solved the mystery. There's still a few more questions to answer, but you're pretty much at the end of it now.
Hey.
Hey.
You know, like once those last few questions, which are probably at the forefront of each of yours minds, that mystery's over.
Mm.
All right, and have you learned something new, and what is it? Who would like to go first?
The CEO and the possessed animals may be connected.
Yeah, there's some amount of coincidence there, and as we know, coincidence isn't real.
Hmm.
I'm slowly putting them together and learning the penumbra.
Hmm.
Ever. And I know what I need to be able to put it together, basically.
Yeah,
I
you
have one
know,
of-
you know what parts you need, and a bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
The boxer may have just possessed the gloves.
Yep, those both work. All right, so congratulations, everyone.
Hella
Yeah.
passive aggressive session, my ass. There we go. Did the
As,
thing.
as always, I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see
Yeah.
you next week.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And remember, when we start up again, it'll be springtime.
Oh no.
It means you guys will have successfully made it through winter.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. Winter left. Winter's outie.
Yeah, Winter said, "Fuck the shit, I'm out." Anyway, yeet.
Yeet.
I'm gonna stop stream.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
See ya, folks. Have a good one.
Bye
Ta-ta.
bye.